Hello and welcome back to part two of Money Mindset. My name's Curtis Storr. I'm the trainer with Family Investor. Let's get right into it here. Money Mindset, the secret to building wealth, part two. I've got a little bit of lag. Anyways, you were supposed to do homework, right? You're supposed to spend the last 2 weeks now, you should have spent on gathering information on what you spend, everything you spend for 2 weeks. If you haven't done this exercise, you need to stop right now and do the exercise. It's very important that you do this. I want to show you how much you're spending. I want you to start being aware of where your money is going. So, and you've probably gone through a lot of basic trainings, and that's a good thing too. But if you haven't done this homework, stop this video right now and go and do it. You'll find it in the Start Here category, the part one of this. Okay. And you know, while you're doing that, you could continue on your training and do the, go into the deep dive or wherever you left off. Okay, here we go. Here's the fun part. On your sheet of what you spent the last 2 weeks, you should have categorized things, under eating out and stuff. If not, you could go ahead and stop this video and do another page, categorize things about like coffee, Starbucks, or if that's where you go, eating out, bunch that all together. If you're a businessman versus just eating out with your family, you could separate those two. But go through all that and start drawing circles around ones that you feel like you're spending too much money. Like mine was eating out. I was spending over $100 a week on meals eating out, and almost $500 a month. And I started thinking, God, I could cook some really good meals with $500 a month. And if you compare it, but yeah, you got to get out. I'm not telling you to stop going out, but if you have to budget. But this is the first step in you just becoming aware of where you're spending your money. That's the main thing. And I'm going to do another exercise following this to show you what can happen if you were to, have kept a better eye on your spending. And I found about 140 every 2 weeks. That's 280, almost 300 a month, which is $10 a day. Not a whole lot. But if you get deeper into what that means, like your savings, and I understand savings is a tough thing to do because, every time we have money in our checking account, we feel like we should have spent it on something. Or if you're a credit card person, you probably have already spent it, right? Most of you have. Okay, and I'm going to show you what $1 a day or $30 a month can add up to. And if you've done the basic trainings, you've probably already seen this spreadsheet that I'm going to show you. But $2 a day is 60, $5 a day. So, if you could save $5 a day, you break it down, it doesn't sound so bad, but it's $150 a month. That's one mocha for me. Just cut out one mocha. That's $150 a month. And I'm going to show you also. They say if you're making $4,000 a month, 10% of that should go towards savings for your future. Blah blah. It's not true. If you've done the trainings and the basic trainings, you now know your break even, which we taught in inflation training. You got to make at least 20%. So So you got to save at least 20%. So 20% of your income is $800 if you're making 4,000, and you need to put that towards your retirement. And let me show you what that's going to do. I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet. You have already seen this if you've done the basic trainings and you didn't skip those. This spreadsheet you can actually download after you do the interest training. And now you know, looking at this, if you could save $100 a month, even at 4%, what that can mean in 60 years. If you're 20 and you're going to retire, 60 years can be $300,000 and $200, then $400 a month. We go to $400 a month which is half if you're making $4,000, right? $1 million too, almost. Right down here at the bottom, I'm looking at it. In case you guys can't see it, I have this down here in 60 years, right? Just so you remember. And if you're making 7%, and I told you in the interest training that's about how much I'm making on my policy, 7%. And I'm putting in, let's see, well, let's say I was putting in $400 a month. In 60 years, that's $4 million. That's a nice retirement, right? So you now understand why life insurance is not a bad vehicle to have in your portfolio. That's one of them. That's one of the things we say. And that's where you need to start. And we get into that. You saw that if you got into the risk pyramid, you would have seen that is one of the safest investments compared to other investments that you do. We've done that risk pyramid. And since savings is tough, you have a vehicle where you're required to make a payment every month into it. You could do it automatically out of your check. And we get into the big picture when we start mapping out your strategies, because we understand. I went through it too. It's hard to save. It's easier to take money out of your paycheck before you get it in your account. And we show you other things with the debt-free if you've already started that training. Some of you might have jumped forward. Let's see. There we go. And obviously, like I said, if you've gone through the basic trainings, you understand the power of compounding. Just that one thing alone. One thing alone, if you learn anything out of these trainings, is what compounding interest will do for you. It's powerful, but it's powerful both ways. Now, if you've been through the basic trainings and you've seen the credit card, if you owe in credit card, if you have a lot of credit card debt, it's compound interest against you. Which side are you paying it? You're paying compounded interest on those credit cards. That's why you feel like you can't ever get ahead. That's why we show you strategies on how to get rid of that debt, because we know that's an anchor. And you have to look at your budget, and you've done your budget now too, right? You've seen how much you're spending on everything else. And everybody asks, why do I, even in the interest training, I always answer this: why 100 years? You think a wealthy person or a wealthy family can afford to put away $800? Let's see, where did I put that? Let's do it here. I mean, that's at 15%. Let's go back to be conservative. 7%. A wealthy person could probably put away $800 easy a month on a child. But let's say you put away 400 on a newborn, and their life expectancy is probably 100, maybe 80. But just look at the numbers here. If you look at the numbers, 80 years, if 80 years here, if they live to be 80 and start taking their retirement, even if they start taking some at 70 or 60, that's still a good number. But look how much it grows. Once you get up to those numbers, look how much it grows. $18 million by the time they're 80. You've changed your family's legacy just by saving $400 a month for a child. If you have more than one child, you do $200 a month. But still, they each at 60 will have $2 million. Comfortable lifestyle. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, 60 years, I don't know what the prices are going to be. Remember inflation? So you have to earn more than 7%. But thank God we show you ways of doing that. But the wealthy, you do the advanced trainings, which I'll talk about a little bit. As you get into our advanced trainings, we will show you what a family dynasty is or a family foundation. You hear the wealthy have those, and it's like, what's up with those? And it's doing this. Maybe most likely they have what's called a family office. Normally, a family office should have been defined by now, but I'll repeat myself. Is a group of people like myself, financiers that understand different investments, and they invest the money for the wealthy. They create their own office, and they get a percentage of the gains for managing that. It depends. I myself work for a percentage of the gains because I'm saying, okay, if I don't make you any money, I don't make any money. But I always make people money, not 100% of the time, but I have a really good track record. So I make people money, and I can depend on a percentage of their profits. And I implement these wealth strategies myself. I mean, and if you look at it, if you put away $100 for 100 years, let's say, that's no typo over there. Look, even for 80 years. Look at that, 80 years. That is $1.2 billion at 15%. And remember, I mentioned that, our track record is on investments is to double somebody's income every 5 years. Double somebody's income. Well, that's their income too. Well, half of it's income. Anyways, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna get back to the money mindset training here. Oh, did I click one more time? Hope it doesn't change. Okay, after seeing those numbers, I mean, you've seen them already back in interest. Now your mindset can change, because now that you've been through the basic trainings and we're doing this, your belief about money is going to change. Because seriously, if you're not a little bit excited about changing your financial future, then there isn't anything we can teach you. I mean, if you've done my basic trainings and you've gotten to this point, ask for a refund if you're not excited. If you're not excited about getting to the big picture trainings and implementing some of these strategies, and you haven't started doing all this homework and stuff and done your budget and everything, and there's nothing we can do. I can't make you become wealthy. I just can't make you. I can't I can't change your mind. You have to do that on your own. You know, and some of you've already gotten it. Congratulations. I mean, some of you, every training you're going, holy moly, this is incredible. This is good stuff. Every training that you watch, there's seeds being planted and they're growing, and your mind is just going wild, and you're like me, craving more information. You're probably at the point right now where you're just saying, get to the big picture, Curtis. Let's get to the big picture. I can't wait to start shifting that money back to me and my family. But for some of you, I know it's going to be tough because society, the whole system, our system is built around taking your money, selling you things to get your money, making you work so you have to pay taxes. Everything about it, you know, is geared towards money. I mean, I hope you're not on medication, but if you have to pay the pharmacy bill, you know what I'm talking about. Pills are very expensive. It's because that's how they get your money. You're sick, you pay us. You know, so let's learn to get away from that. I mean, but we can't force you into changing the way you're thinking. Okay? It's just not going to happen. But if you are becoming a believer and you haven't done your belief about money, here's the training. Things that, and you need to complete this exercise before we move on. And I'm sorry I got off on a little tangent there. I'm really trying to help people get past themselves, because I know for some people it's tough. I know you. I met you at those trainings. I've seen people who physically get emotional about the money. All logic goes out the window. Anyways, okay, if you've completed the beliefs thing, let's go to your dreams. You grab your workbook, and now you're gonna date and label a page in big bold letters up at top, my dreams, and take 15 minutes to write down what you would do. What are your dreams? Some of you know them, they're in your head, great, but a lot of you squash those dreams because of the money. Just take 15 minutes and pretend you have all the money in the world to do whatever you want. But truly, you know, everybody says, oh, you know, but once again, heart. A lot of times our brains is keeping up with the Joneses' thoughts. No, go to your heart and think of what you would really want to do. Retire on the beach, go diving. Some people could be as simple as living in your current house, you know, with debt free, having family dinners, you know, the kids have moved out, having them come over once a month, once a week, whatever. What are your dreams for your future, your retirement? What does your future look like? Okay, I'm going to pause this video and take your 15 minutes. Have fun. Okay, so you should have paused the video while you did your exercise. Now circle the ones you know you can accomplish, because here we go again. Dreaming big is not bad. putting down a dream that you don't truly believe you can accomplish. I mean, that has changed probably because gone through your basic training, and maybe some of you even made it to the deep dive stuff, and you're starting to see, and you've got all these thoughts on how you can start saving more money. But it's not about saving money, it's about building wealth. So that means you have to invest it also. But back to what I said before, you have to believe, okay? Because like it says there, you can save at least $10 a day. I mean, this is what a guy said to me. Everybody says, I want to make $1 million in a year. Well, here's the thing. And I've never made $1 million in 1 year for myself. And if you haven't done it, you're gonna struggle with believing it, and believing that you can do it. And if you struggle with the belief, then you won't, because don't ever forget, you're always going to be right. So if you don't, you can't really fool yourself. You can fool yourself to a point. Like they say, dress for success, because that's the whole thing. Like Jim Carrey carried around a check for $2 million, and that's how much he made on Dumb and Dumber. You have to believe that it's going to happen. You really have to resonate that belief. It's because it's in our nature. We're programmed to fulfill our destiny. So if you have to, adjust your dream to a level you believe. Not comfortable, but not $1 million. For example, if you made $100,000 last year, it's believable you can make $200,000 this coming year. Because I know it, by implementing the strategies that you're learning right now, you can make $100,000 increase in a year. And because part of the strategies here is, you reach peace of mind when if you lose your job, you have enough passive income coming in that you don't have to worry, and you have your nest egg, just not one thing. You've got it covered, right? So that's what this trainings are about. So hopefully you know that by now, because you've gone through the basic training. And if you really need to know, you just look back on what you've accomplished, and everything you've accomplished in life is something that you believed in. It's so true. And that's where the quote, faith of a mustard seed, because the mustard seed is the smallest seed known to man. And all you need is just a little bit of faith, though. Because doubt and faith can't live in the mind at the same time. You can't believe and not believe at the same time. That's why we have affirmations. You keep telling yourself, I am enough. You keep telling yourself, I am the only me there is, and I am worth the time, effort, and dedication necessary to succeed. And you keep telling yourself that, you start believing. A lot of things you'll start believing. So that's why we get into the positive affirmations. And positive affirmations are proven methods of self-improvement because of their ability to rewire our brains. Yes, brainwashing. It's much like exercise. You raise the level of good hormones and push our brains to form new clusters of positive thought neurons. People say, Curtis, why are you always smiling? You look like the the cat that got the mouse or whatever. Uh, I don't know. I forget those. But anyways, it's because I do affirmations, positive affirmations. It doesn't mean I don't have a bad day, but I don't stay there. And it's the easiest thing to do, but you got to stick to it. It's I call it shifting. The same with shifting wealth. You got to shift your thought. You could it's your attitude, how you react to things. If somebody calls you a pink tortoise, you laugh about that because you're not a pink tortoise. But if someone says you're fat, I'm overweight, I don't care. That's their problem. Why would they be mean enough to say that in the first place? Why do people say mean stuff? It's their problem. It's coming from them. They're the ones who need the help. I'm happy. But it's a tough thing to do when you have people. So that's why you need to get rid of toxic people. And you need to get rid of those negative thoughts. And the only way to get rid of a negative thought is to override it. I look at it, I'm an IT guy, I'm a nerd, so I look at it like a hard drive. You got to write something else in its place, and it's got to, for your mind, it's got to be something positive. That's why we did this exercise. And if you have to go back and go through the exercise again, do that. Because if you're telling yourself, like, for example, I never get ahead, they hold me back. Well, number one, that's what is known as a victim mentality. You're a victim of other people. You're not a robot. You can do whatever you want to do. If you're like me and a rebel, yes, you're going to suffer the consequences if you do things that are out of the ordinary. People always think people doing things out of the ordinary are crazy. That people might even call you crazy for doing this training. People might call you crazy for implementing some of these strategies until you that's going to make you uncomfortable. And if you let that voice in your head say, no, you can't do that, all your friends are saying you're crazy, you can't do that, you're not going to do it. So that's why here at Family Investor, our goal is to educate you in such a basic level that you go, oh my God, math doesn't lie. It works. I can do that little by little. I can do it. And when you start doing it, everybody around you they're going to see that you're doing it, and you're going to get ahead, and no one's going to hold you back, and you're going to take action. And they're going to see that. They're going to say, well, how'd you do it? Well, remember, you called me crazy. No, you don't need to throw it back in their face. And another thing, a lot of people say, I'm not smart. People say, they say, Curtis, you're smart. I'm not smart enough to do this. I am not that smart. I am tenacious. I ask the dumb questions. I'm the dumb kid that always asks the dumb questions. I'm the one who does work, and I learn from my mistakes. And guess why I'm smart? I make more mistakes than everyone else. And I get so good I make so many mistakes, I get good at catching myself making mistakes. And some of you can relate to that now. Some of you are going, what is he talking about? It's a toughest thing to making changes in your life is changing your negative thoughts and trying to stay away from all the negative environments around you. I mean, TV, your friends, your spouse, children will tell you. They'll usually tell you the positive part of it. So once you get your positive affirmations down, which all they are is the statements that replace your negative mindset now. All those things you wrote down in your earlier training, all the negative thoughts, you replace them with positive thoughts now. And you're going to read them every day. And every time you have a bad thought, look at your list and make sure you have a positive affirmation, a positive thought that talks about that bad thought, because that's how you're going to get rid of the bad thoughts. And you need to put them somewhere where you can read them. You know, there's something you have to look at every day. Hang them on your refrigerator, or do like I do. I have them all over my desk. That's why I'm able to read to you what I have earlier. You know, I am enough. That's a strong in itself. It's short. I am enough. Because a lot of times we have doubt. And I spend most of my time here at the desk, and hopefully not as much at the refrigerator. But the refrigerator is a good place because then everybody else gets to read them too. And just remember, start your affirmations as with I am. I am is the two most powerful words in the world. It's you have to say I am enough, because what that does is it's in the present. So what you're telling yourself is, if you thought you weren't enough before, you're telling yourself you are enough now. And so moving forward, from this day on, you are enough. I am enough. So some of those negative things or positive affirmations you've written down before, see if you can rewrite them to say I am. Because you don't want them to say, because some of them probably say I want or I will, things like that. Those are not as strong as saying I am. Okay. I want to thank you. I hope you got a lot out of this. I mean, I am so passionate about helping people build their wealth. And I know the toughest thing I'm up against, one of the two things that worry me the most, is that you don't believe in yourself. So you won't, or what your beliefs are will get in the way, because you'll hear something that we're saying and you'll go, no, that can't be true. Well, if I show you on a spreadsheet and the math is good, you can't lie with math. So that's why I do the math. I show you the numbers. So you know it's true, but you still may struggle. And the other thing is what I'm afraid of is what people are going to say to you. Even advisors don't know everything. I don't know everything. An advisor might set you down and go, oh no, if life insurance is bad because of A, B, O, and C. Well, and then they go, you should buy. Then they're telling you it's bad because they have something they want to sell you. I don't know. There are, and we talk about all this. So you make the choices. We talk about what could go wrong. And I think one of the things that people are, if you stop making payments into your life insurance, you can lose it. Well, at certain points, yes. But it's not like a car where if you stop making payments on your car or your house, you're going to lose those. And that's what some people are afraid of. They have their homes paid off, and they won't use that money to make more wealth, because there's risk involved in that. But then they need to just live with that, because that's a money mindset block. Anyways, continue with your trainings. You should be through the basics and a deep dive. And I think in another week or so, the big picture is going to show up. I did that on purpose because I want to lock you guys into getting your basics and deep dive done. Okay? Before you start looking at, because you won't understand the big picture when I start talking about that, even though I start off in the same level, more basic. Just like in the basic trainings, I've included some real estate information, and then in the deep dive some more, but then we start putting it all together in the big picture. And you got to work on it all the time. Read your why, your positive, everything it says on here. And if at this point, since hopefully you through all your basic trainings, get through those deep dives and then start sending those questions. And I know those questions are piling up. Or by the time you get this done, we'll probably have our first live Q&A on Facebook. Yeah. I've never done it, so we'll see how the first one goes. But I look forward to seeing you there. And we'll answer your questions live if you want to. Or if you're more private about your questions, you could email them to us. And here's why my logo here down below, Family Investor, says learn, live, and give. You learn because knowing is power. Should I say knowledge is power? Yes. But knowing is power. If you live for yourself and not a job. We weren't put on this earth for us to work for somebody the rest of our lives. And give is abundance. That's when you do things like you go out and feed the homeless, you go to nonprofit organizations and you volunteer, you cook meals for 2,500 people. We did it for 250 also. My friend's place, we raised over $30,000 for that place, and clothing and everything. But anyways, abundance. Abundance is and it's a mindset also. These are all mindsets also. The learning level of mindset is to be open. Let down the barriers. Let things in. Ask questions if you're not sure. Get to clarity. Don't be closed-minded. Live is another mindset. It's your lifestyle, your peace of mind. There's people living, and then there's people existing. Living is different than existing. Existing is you're just working for the man, so to say, forever. And you're under this stress that if you don't have a job, you're done. That's scary. I mean, and I see people working at Walmart when they should be living. And then give. When you get to a certain level where you'll be able to create your own family foundation if you want to. It's great. So once again, I thank you. Finish those trainings, and we'll see you in the big picture.